Ladies and gentlemen, ProWrestling.me and KocoSports.com proudly presents the Boom Boom Room, and of course I am the sexiest man on all of Internet Wrestling Radio. That's right, Boom Boom here, shaking the room live from the RVA, Richmond, Virginia. Well, kids, we got a lot of stuff, a lot of news and gossip going on in the world of professional wrestling, so I thought I'd take a moment here just to kind of sit back and address everything. So I'm going to tackle a variety of news topics. So if you've got any questions, comments, just be sure to put them in here in the little chat thingy right here. I'll be answering your questions here for a little bit this morning. So I want to say thank each and every one of you for joining us here. All right, so first things first, I guess the newest story is actually coming out of WWE right now. Is that the story is going that Wade Barrett will not renew his contract with WWE. Believe he is going to have his contract expire sometime this summer, right around June. There's a lot of rumors about that right now, even though there's nothing official. They're saying, that he's had several injuries, including a neck injury, a shoulder injury, he's had all kinds of injuries. Plus, has not really been doing that well creative-wise. He sent out some tweets, and one of them goes, and I quote, "I'll comment further at a more appropriate time, but for now, I'm 100% focused on doing my job for WWE. See you at Fastlane on Sunday." And I'm glad he's handling this professionally. I'm glad he's just not, storming out or whatever, or blowing up now on the internet. I think it's, he'll tell everybody, it's just be patient. Let me just work my contract out, and I'll tell you everything that you want to know. So I appreciate that he's handling it professionally, and two, he's going to give us an explanation. We just need to be patient, which I'm fine with that. I do wish him the best, because Barrett is one of those guys, I don't think he really got a fair shake. And people are like, what? No, hear me out. He came in with the original, Nexus, back when NXT was a reality show rather than the, fucking amazing TV show it is now. It was just a segment on Raw, and then, he led the Nexus, and he split off and led the Core, and then he just went through this I think this is more Creative's problem than anything else. He just went through like an identity crisis, not since Brutus the Barber Beefcake. Old Ed Leslie himself. Has someone gone through more of an identity crisis than him? First he was the bare knuckles fighter, then he was Bad News Barrett, which was rough at the beginning, but no, that actually got over, and then he became King Barrett. He was a Intercontinental Champion, now he's part of the League of Nations. He just wasn't able to get past this. I mean, you go to WWE to be the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. You don't go there to be the Intercontinental Champion. And I think maybe he realized that he was hitting the glass ceiling, wasn't going to go any further. I was hoping it's not a situation where he was not going to pull a Dolph Ziggler, like, well, I'm not going to do any better, but I'm not going to make any more money, so yeah, I'll resign. So, class act by Wade Barrett, and I wish him the best of luck, and I'm actually interested in hearing what old Wade has to say. I've seen him in person. He's a huge guy. I've seen him perform live. I hope this isn't the end of his wrestling career. That's just something that I really hope is on the table. But speaking of tragedies, we finally got news about Axl Rotten, his cause of death, the ECW original. Now, according to the Baltimore Sun, he was found. He died of an accidental overdose. According to the police report, he was found unconscious and not breathing on the bathroom floor of a McDonald's restaurant. They had found drug paraphernalia on a nearby infant changing table. They had found a burned tablespoon with a crystalline residue on it. They also found an unlabeled pill bottle with capsules of what they described as a brownish substance inside, which some believe could be heroin, also in the bathroom. They are unsure how long he was on the ground and how long he'd been in there. And pardon the expression, but I think that's just a rotten end. You know, 44, that's still too young. And I understand he'd had some health problems. He was having some trouble. Like he'd had surgery. He was just now starting to walk again. Uh, after a lot of personal and health issues. But that just fucking sucks. That fucking sucks. I can't imagine going out like that, going out, wanting to go shoot up and then just collapsing and dying on a fucking bathroom in a fucking fast food joint. It's just something I really don't want to think about there. And I will say that, guys, if you're on drugs or you know someone who is, just work like hell to get off or get them off of it. That's just no way to go out. I mean, just, your last moments, you're on the floor alone in a bathroom stall. I mean, that's pretty fucking low. So but my heart and, my condolences go out to Axl's family. He was a good talent for, what he did with ECW. Paul Heyman knew how to use him. I mean, he put on one hell of a match with the Bad Breed, back when he split up with Ian Rotten, the Bad Breed. They did a Taipei death match. I think I probably mentioned this on another video. But he had, Axl had told Paul Heyman, like, well, look, I really don't want to do this tag team thing anymore. And so Heyman's like, okay, give me a chance to work up, some kind of breakup angle. So he went with them. They broke up the Bad Breed, and they decided to end their breakup with a Taipei death match. Now this is this is on, I think it's Forever Hardcore, that documentary, that independent documentary the ECW originals did, and about the fall of ECW. They talked about how it was Axl and Ian. They started drinking beer. They put all the beer bottles in a bucket, and they started crushing it with a rock. And then they took their athletic tape, put it on backwards where the sticky part was on the outside, then used like another adhesive. And then they just dipped their hands in that broken glass, and they walk out to the ring, and and they let the fans touch that fucking glass to let them know, oh, this is fucking real. This is not, fucking, say that, there's some glass you could, like prop glass you can get made out of sugar. No, they were like, nope, this is the real deal. And they tore each other to pieces on that. He also had a good tag team run with Balls Mahoney, Balls and Axl. He dropped the ball because he was one of the ECW originals that got called up when the WWE did their version of ECW. He got called up, but he wound up getting fired because he no-showed. Like it was like a big event. I mean, there's like this big, it was just like this big to do. They had, I think it was Dreamer, God, who else? No, Sandman. Balls Mahoney was one. I know Francine I don't think she appeared on that one, but you get the idea. He was supposed to be there. He was supposed to be part of that. It was supposed to be a big break for him, and he just no-showed and wound up losing his job and still being stuck on the indies and doing whatever. And I just don't understand why people do that. But anyway, but God bless him. God bless his family, and I hope he's able to find a little bit more peace. And by the way, I want to say thanks to Crazy J Ray and Thomas Seversky for joining us live here. Barrett at Lucha. You know what? Stranger things have happened. Hell, why not? Yeah, Wade Barrett for Lucha Underground. Fuck yeah. They got a third season approved. Bring him in. Crazy J Ray. Now, this is, of course, in regards to Wade Barrett. Now, if he goes to TNA, then TNA might get better. They've said that with everybody. They have said that with everybody they've brought in. It really has not changed anything. And now Crazy J Ray's going to bed, so I guess he's on the other side of the globe, and it's getting dark because, God, where the hell are you at, J Ray? Shit, it's like 8 o'clock in the morning here on the East Coast. Next, we got a little bit of controversy, brewing here, but Michelle Beadle, works with ESPN. She's apparently ended her boycott of WWE. Now, for those of you, I'll jog your memories here. Remember, she originally boycotted. Now, she was, in the ESPN, was actually a fan with WWE, but, had a little bit of a split, a little bit of rift because of WWE's association with Floyd Money Mayweather, and the spousal abuse, the physical abuse against women allegations. And so she, said that, she wasn't gonna, be associated with WWE. In fact, was boycotting because of their, particularly Triple H's continued support of quote unquote a serial abuser. Well, this past Monday, Triple H announced that he had, quote unquote, buried the hatchet with Michelle Beadle, and and everything going on with that. Beadle, it originally called him, basically calling them hypocrites, which, they're right to, because, this undermined the whole Via Star anti-bullying initiative. Anyway, but she eventually ended it because of a phone call, and this is, ProWrestlingSheet.com is reporting that she had gotten a phone call from Vince McMahon, and she was, they were kind of explaining, what, their particular sides, and then she wound up accepting an invite to Monday Night Raw because, she quote unquote felt time had passed, and enough talking to Triple H was the right thing to do, and plus now she understands that not everyone is going to feel the same way as her about Mayweather. And believe it or not, and believe it, this is going to be some earth-shattering news here. Everybody buckle your seatbelts, because I'm about to say something that's going to blow your mind. So that's right. Get the duct tape ready, wrap it around your head. I actually agree with Mark Madden on this. I know, crazy. I never ever thought I would utter those words would ever come out of my mouth. But Mark Madden, the former WCW member of the commentary team, he sent a message to Michelle Beadle, and it led to like this exchange. And I'll read some of the excerpts here if you don't mind. He says, serious question: has Triple H renounced his love for serial abuser Floyd Mayweather, or have you just decided to ignore it? And so, to which she replied, I don't ignore things. Madden replied, I don't understand the answer. Triple H is tight with Mayweather and always puts him over. You renounce that. Then last night you're posing for pictures with Triple H and Stephanie. You like wrestling too much. I worked in it for 8 years. It will always lie to you, and it will always break your heart. Just saying, hope all is well. She, of course, Beadle fired back. Thanks for the chuckle. Just another day on Twitter where strangers pretend to know it all. I'm not too worried. Have a great one. And of course, Mark Madden didn't miss a beat. Yep, as always, you're superior and above it all. And even your most convenient of decisions is the right one because you make it a pleasure as always. And, this kind of led back and forth here. Michelle Beadle, I used to block people like this. Now I realize it's not about me. Just some folks like to be that guy. That is the same guy who called me fat a couple of years ago. I suppose in some sound funny way, to each their own. We all have to pay the bills. Madden took exception to that, saying she initiated a private conversation with me and then made it public. What a class act, but I stand by everything I said. She renounced WWE because of Triple H's association with Mayweather. Now she's mugging in the front row and backstage, posing for pics with Stephanie and Triple H. Michelle must have trouble deciding on which of her faces to put on each morning. Done now. And then he also responded to the allegations that he called her fat. He goes, nope, that was a guy in Philly. Oh, shit, don't ask me to pronounce that Italian name. Missinelli, I'm sorry if I butchered that. Don't let facts get in the way of your narrative. You never do. You know what, gang? I'm not wrong on this one. Lots of you would like me to be, but I'm not. So, he even, put it out there, and to the point where even Dave Meltzer, I know LK just retched somewhere. I just said the name Dave Meltzer, and LK's like, oh God, what the hell? Even he's answering the question. Why don't you answer this question? Why don't you explain your change of position? Because Triple H has never apologized for that. They've not disassociated themselves with Floyd Mayweather. They've not taken him out of the Hall of Fame. They haven't done anything differently. The only thing that was different was they let some time pass. They called up Michelle Beadle and said, hey, can we just bury the hatchet? And she's like, okay, sure. Oh, you want to come hang out hang out with us at Raw? Sure, why not? Okay, yeah, because that totally makes sense, and doesn't warrant any follow-up questions. Let's see some other news here. Dana Brooks back at the training center. She's training again. She got hurt and they didn't say what exactly happened, but she was suffering some kind of injury in October. So she's back for the first time training since leaving out with that injury. Her last match was against Asuka. Let's see. Oh, and by the way, for those of you wondering, Mark Henry, he suffered a rib injury on Raw. That's why that match against Big E ended so suddenly. So, and there's another one looking like they're going to miss. He's going to miss Mania. Titus O'Neil is obviously going to miss Mania because of his suspension. Now it's looking like maybe Mark Henry's. I don't think that's going to heal up in time. Cesaro straight up said, no, I'm not going to be ready in time for Mania. Triple H is on the bubble. There's maybe talks that John Cena will challenge The Undertaker for Mania this year. I don't know. I don't know. Will he be healed up in time? Now, Cena does have a history of coming back early. I mean, if he can get up and move, as long as he can physically move, yeah, I think he'll come back. Now, I think it's kind of hypocritical. Okay, they won't let Daniel Bryan wrestle, even though he passed all these, concussion tests. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to harp on that too much. We can't. Triple H is like, all these guys are like thoroughbreds. They'll run themselves in the ground if we don't pull back on the reins. And yet you're going to let, arguably one of your biggest stars, who should still probably be on the shelf, come back just because, to make some, in a match against The Undertaker, just because you need to make some scratch. Yeah, that sounds great. You know what? I don't want to, end this on a downer. Let's end this on an upper here. WWE has announced a global cruiserweight series. This is set to premiere in July. I like this. What they're saying they're going to do is they're going to go around the world, and they do mean the world. They're going to get they're going to get independent guys, and they're also going to get contracted WWE guys. They're going to get 32 guys, and they're going around the world. I believe right now they're scouting talent in England, Japan, China. So they're going around the world here. They're looking for 32 of the greatest cruiserweights. The one rule is you have to be under 205 pounds, which means I can compete. Yes. Dave, better luck next time. And they're going to compete in apparently it's going to be a 10-week tournament here to earn the right to call themselves the best cruiserweight in the world. It looks like it's going to air on the WWE Network immediately following NXT, so there's more incentive to keep your subscription to the WWE Network to stay there watching. I'm interested to see how this is being promoted here. Cruiserweights was always in demand. This is something that the fans kind of put in motion. They'd send out a survey, go, hey, what are you more interested in seeing? And the surveys came back, said, yeah, cruiserweight. So they're making this happen. So on July 13th, 9 p.m. Eastern, we'll be able to see, 32. And I like the fact that this is actually just going to be a 10-week tournament instead of a permanent show. And I know some people are like, whoa. Because if you have it as just like, you got to treat it like, like a TV series, one of the series that I'm watching right now is Moonshiners over on Discovery Channel. And I know that goes by seasons. For those of you who haven't seen it, it's basically they have like this group of moonshiners in various states around the country. And they just have a crew that kind of follows them around and what they do and how they, how only one of them makes it legally. Only one of them makes that hooch legally. The rest of them do it backwoods illegal. And so what they have to do, how they find sites, how they put together their equipment, how they get it there, the recipes they have to follow, the setbacks, with the weather, how they hide from how they hide from police, how they smuggle stuff around. It follows them around, but there's always this pressing sense of urgency that because, moonshining season only lasts for so long in the year because, the weather plays a role in it. And plus, if you're going to hide out in the backwoods, you need to have a lot of canopy, green canopy leaves and everything up over to hide you out there in the woods. And so there's always this pressing sense of urgency, whereas if this thing was just every day, something like the news, you're just going to lose interest quickly, and you're like, okay, nothing really big. And, and every show is special. So that's why I like the fact that this is going to be a 10-week event. It's going to be kind of like Arrow or something. There's going to be like some sense of urgency that, every match is going to count. if somebody loses, they may not get their revenge. You know, if somebody gets screwed, you know, like some outside interference comes in and they get screwed, they may not get their revenge because this is only 10 weeks. You know, this isn't something they have to, you know, that they're going to have to just drag out all year, because then it's going to turn into something like SmackDown where it's a glorified house show. But I like the idea that it's 10 weeks. There's something on the line. They're going to get all these guys together, and, you know, everything's going to matter. And it's not one of those, well, he might get his revenge 6 months down the road. No, he's going to have to get his revenge the next fucking week, or he may not get it, period. I love that. And it'd be interesting to see what, you know, WWE spin on, you know, what their spin on the cruiserweights are going to be. Very interested to see how that is, but let me know what you guys think. Thomas Seversky says Triple H bears the hatchet. What a pro. All right. Yeah. I mean, it's some professionalism. I guess he's following more so after his father-in-law on that one, because Vince loves to bury the hatchet. He loves to be able to say, oh, yeah. I was able to, this guy called me a, you know, puppy kicking SOB, but I was able to smooth things over. I mean, he's a big fan of that. I guess, remember, that's where Old Trips is putting him over. All right. So, you know what? I guess that's going to do it for me for right now. I just wanted to get everybody updated on the news, kind of share my thoughts on things. So I'd like to thank everybody for joining us. Be sure to check us out at, excuse me, I can't talk right now. Subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We got more shows coming up. It's Wednesday night. We're going to have an NXT review. Coco's got a Lucha Underground review in the works. I believe LK has either, I think maybe he's reviewed TNA or is going to. I'm not trying to put words in his mouth here, but I think that's in the works. Then after that, we've got SmackDown. We've got Fastlane coverage this weekend. We'll start all over again with our Monday Night Raw review. Now, if you missed this past Monday night, want to know if it's good or bad, Coco, LK, and even Wrestling Rantin joined in, and so we've got our review of Monday Night Raw up on the channel. So subscribe to us. We're cranking out usually about a show a day. Also, check us out at ProWrestling.net. It's the Pro Rest Pub for professional wrestling fans. It's absolutely, positively, 100% free. We've got news and gossip on there. We've got ways for it's kind of like the Facebook for pro wrestling fans. You can all talk to each other there. We've got a messaging service. Also, we've got forums and blogs. So if you've got an opinion that you want to bang out a column about that, you can do that. You know, it's all uncensored. So tell us how you really feel. And of course, you can check us out at KocoSports.com. And by the way, Jerry O'Neill is out of the hospital, so he's back to updating the site. So way to go, Jerry. Good to see you back. That's KocoSports.com. It's your home for combat sports. It's where your world goes to kick ass, and most importantly, it's where it's okay to be a passionate fan. So this is Boom Boom, and for my partners, Dave, Coco, and LK, I am over.